Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Bark River saw the return of Retzlaff in a big way. Outpacing current champion Barry Parker hardly looked phased at the fast and flowing track. But today, it switches around to the tight and small short version of Crandon. It's back to lapped cars and difficult passes as we get ready to watch round 5 of the 2023 General Tire National Series. And you'll see it all live here on Podium Esports. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and joining me in the booth is the voice of off-road, Dave Arnold. Behind the scenes is our producer, Ryan Bauer, and we've got Cameron Aubernon on social media, as well as cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Well, Dave, I'm looking forward to getting back to Crandon here this evening, but it's not going to be anything like what we saw at the first round.
Oh, no. I mean, Bark River, a totally different track when it comes to the short track. It's like a bull ring. It's short, it's fast, it's tight, and there's going to be a lot of beating and banging going on for sure. Joe, I can't wait for this one.
Same here. The drivers have only got 4 corners to contend with once again out on the track. It's very, not narrow, I would say, but not very long as we take a look at the Google Map view of this circuit. And as I mentioned, only those 4 corners, and only one of them is a right-hander, Calamity Corner at the very end there. You can see, and they will still have the land rush start, so that will bring them in at least through there, through the first turn. But after that, it's all everybody trying to vie for position around these tight confines. But a lot of banked corners around this version for sure. In fact, I think every single one of them has banking, except for maybe 2, I guess you could count as not really having much at all on that one, but still plenty of elevation change for that. So it's also brought us into partway through the season now, and of course we do still have a makeup round later on that will help them out, but Barry's still 162 points ahead. And unfortunately, we do not have Parker here as he has real-life obligations. So that's going to put Connor Barry even farther away. Instead, it's Swain who is trying to chase him in the points right now. But he's very close with Plumley, who could overtake that second place tonight with even just a consistent run, not even necessarily being all that much faster than Swain. So watch out for those two, but this is definitely an opportunity for Barry to really make a slam dunk for himself. As for the race itself, if you haven't been watching up till now, they run a heat race system and it's going to be 6 laps out here at Crandon, with it being such a short circuit. Last chance qualifiers will allow you to get in if you don't finish within the top 3 of those heat races. But if you don't make it into the top 3 of those last chance qualifiers, that's it for the night. You're parked 18 laps for the feature, including a competition caution on lap 8. So they're in the midst of qualifying right now, and so far I'm seeing Tom Grady actually up on the top spot. And I'm trying to see if Connor is still out there. Yes, Connor has not set a time, so we could still see him top the charts here, Dave.
Yeah, definitely. You see Felix Roy also very quick out there, sitting in that second spot. But Connor looks like now he's going to put some laps down. And this is, it's a quick. He got some high speed, but it feels more confined. It's so much tighter. And like you said, there's a few flat turns, but a lot of bank turns there. And you get that off camber. It kind of throws you when you're coming off just by where the barn is, the barn turn, and you're heading up to that Ponzi sign. It's going to make a big difference right there, how you set up your attitude. And we saw a lot of times guys just coming off that Red Bull jump really hard, unsettling the truck. You got to get the set and hit that turn right there.
Watching on board with Scott Kerr, who currently finds himself down in 22nd position, but he's only got to make up 0.02 of a second to get to John Binder. And it's looking like Binder's hit the same time as the 09 of Colin Murphy. This looks like a setup lap as he really tried to square off that exit. And this is going to be his final flyer as he comes around turn 1, or what will be turn 1, past the start-finish line, at least, not from the land rush start. And it does look like he is trying to hustle this one. Let's see if he can improve.
And that's what I was talking about right there. That is a critical turn to set you up. And it kind of throws you off. You're a little off sideways, kicking in, then you hit that gravel pit. And that's placement right there you got to get right. And I think he went a little high on that one. Probably spun the wheels up in the marbles.
Yeah, I am showing him a little bit slow compared to his best time right now, so I don't think this is going to jump him up the order. He's going to finish it anyways, just because he can and might as well. And yeah, he leaps it off the track, but that was definitely slower by about 0.2 compared to his first lap. Crystal King, in the meantime, let's see. Oh, nope, she is going to come to a halt there out of Calamity Corner. She'll start no better than 8th unless she decides to get back out on track. She does have some time, and she has 2 more laps, but basically that final flyer will be it. A lot of drivers really trying to maximize things here as Mika Logic now heads out on his last flying lap.
Well, let's keep an eye on Mika Logic right now as he sets up in these turns. It's set up for qualifying is so important, You saw beforehand they wanted to get that straight shot coming across that finish line there to get going around for that start where the timer actually over where the Red Bull jump is. And you can see the setup, and you can really see the difference of the dirt. One of the lines he's taking. You're not in a race situation. You could use a little bit more of the track, but you got to stay in the traction zones there. And he gets a little bit in the marbles too, but it also sets him with a nice exit out of the turn.
This is his 3rd lap, and yeah, he's also going to try and set this one up. So, excuse me, that wasn't his last flyer. This one is right here as he leaps over those first few jumps down into the first turn. Now, one thing I find interesting about this short version is we see those tires down to the inside. Kind of reminds me of a dirt oval instead.
Yeah, and I think the setup is, pretty much the same. You can see when they come around, you want to put your nose on those too.
Gotta watch out though, because they do not move, especially in the sim. I have seen trucks get turned over when they flirt a little bit too close over there. Paul is on a very good lap from what my timing is showing, so I think he should improve on this 17th place, but we're down to the last few moments of the qualifying. So as they come around the last corner, Paul crosses the line. Oh, he was off by about 0.06 of a second.
Well, it was a good run, though. I mean, he did better a little bit, but, fortunately, we've got some different players up front this time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Connor did not get back out on the track. We saw him abandon after his, I think it was 2nd lap. And he never came back out. He was only 6th. Again, this will set the heat positions. So this isn't the end-all, be-all, but it's still a bit surprising because I think that puts him second on the third split. I have to double check on that. But regardless, a bit unusual for him as he's typically quick in every round that we see him in. But looks like the trucks are getting ready to line up for the first heat. Before we get to that, though, I do believe we have our national anthem ready to play.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rugged red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And with that, it's time to go racing. Jarrett Liebert is going to be starting on the pole for this first heat with Tom Grady in second, Tyson Miller P3, and Trenton Briley in fourth position. Paul Mikolajic starts P5. Then it's John Binder in sixth, Bodie Cryer in seventh, and Daniel Aish in the eighth position. Land rush starts. They will not be going back to this spot, though, after this. It is just around that short course, but the whole shot is certainly going to be important. And Liebert having the inside, will that give him the advantage, or will he get nipped off the line by anybody? They are waiting just a little bit longer here. We'll give the heads up, thankfully, if they do shorten it, thankfully, but they should be doing that shortly. And I'm excited that we get another go at this land rush start. It's always one of the most exhilarating starts in all of racing that I've ever seen, Dave.
Oh, it's absolutely my favorite. I mean, that's one of the things that makes Crandon so special, and everybody's going to see why right now. And the fact that they incorporate this into the short course, it's great. We're going to see how this is going to go out there. It looks like inside position. I was going to say usually it's the middle line that gets it, but that's going to change everything there.
Liebert manages to get ahead, but he's fighting hard with Tom Grady. Someone all the way off into the wall on the outside. That was Mikolajic, who just went a little bit too far. It looks like Liebert still holds that top spot. Grady trying to chuck it down to the inside, but he doesn't have the grip on the bottom.
Yeah, they're trying to get the General Tires to grab out of those turns, and that's one of the keys. You know, you go too far to the inside, you're going to find a little bit of loose dirt there, and I like how they take that into the case here. You go too wide, you're going to find the marbles. Those are the preferred lines. Liebert, Grady hitting it just perfectly. Briley's hunting it back. Oh! Grady gets up on the bicycle, and it looks like he's going to have some company there.
Despite hitting that inside wall, he holds off Briley, who tried to get inside of him, but nearly turned the truck over. Grady now has a gap to make up on Liebert. Remember, it's only 6 laps here for the heat races, so time is of the essence. He's now going to not only have to make up that time, but then still have to do the overtake if he wants the heat win. Critically, top 3 advancing are Liebert, Grady, and Briley.
Yeah, and Briley's definitely got the bullseye on his back right now. You can see Miller just trying to hunt him down. Briley was trying to get that inside line, trying to make a little bit of ground up on Grady. And he's got a little bit of gap on Miller right now. He's got a little bit of breathing room, but it's not much. You can see how fast we're around this track, and it is tight, close quarters.
Yeah, they're only running about 43-second laps around this place, so it disappears in a hurry. Miller and Cryer have been fighting back and forth, but it looks like they've now settled into single file racing as well as they head through the gravel pit once again. And it's basically all in a line except for Mikolajic because of his mistake there on lap 1. Completing lap 2 now, and it does seem like Grady's got it under control. He's gathered it down to about 0.5 of a second behind the 10.
And it looks like Grady's trying to get up on Liebert, but Liebert has a great exit speed as he comes out of that turn down that front straight there. It's incredible the speed that they actually get through these corners there and just keeping them hanging out. And you can see, he just can't gain on them through here. Let's see when they get the gravel pit. That's going to be the real question here. Will Grady find a little bit quicker line, get a little bit more traction through there?
They seem to like that diamond off line here as they go in wide and then cut down on the exit. And it's working well for most of them for the time being. Grady just continues to encroach upon Jarrett Liebert's personal space and is becoming a bigger and bigger threat. I'd almost say it was a huge boon to Liebert that we saw that mistake from the 5.35, because if he hadn't have caused himself that gap, he could have had a lot more pressure up till now.
Yeah, definitely. I think also now Briley's feeling a little bit of pressure. You see a little gap going on there. Miller's not quite hounding him, but he knows he's back there. He knows he's in the last qualifying position.
Can't make any mistakes as we got a slide job down for the lead, and I think that Grady's got it. He's to the inside once again. Liebert could pull that move right back on him. Oh, he tries to, and he runs into the side. He's going to elbow him out, and Liebert is back past, but it was rough.
And also allowed Briley to creep up just a little bit. But I think these two have set the race pace right now.
Wow, so that was interesting stuff there between the two. Pulling out all the tools, and Tom Grady is going to have to get a little bit harsher than that with Jarrett Liebert, because he is not playing games here today as he looks down to the inside, coming down into the gravel pit once again. But this time, Liebert covers him off.
Yeah, it looks like he went way wide on that one, too. I think he lost a little ground there.
Critically, he's still in front of him. They head up to Calamity Corner, and we are going to get the white flag this time by down underneath them. But there's no traction off the corner, at least at this stage in the race. Cutting to the inside once again. Can he manage to overtake him down through turn 1? No, it's not there.
Yeah, Grady's got some quick lines through there. Just can't really just get close on it. Liebert's, unfortunately in his way. I think he gave him a little bit of room when he makes a mistake. Grady's going to be able to get by. So Liebert's just got to get that truck as wide as he can, get those elbows out.
Tries to send it in again. Oh, we got a pass maybe for third place. Miller gave it a go, but I think, unfortunately for him, Briley was wise to it. Didn't let him elbow him out. Still looking for that heat win. Tom Grady tries to bump him out of the way, but it's narrowly going to go to Jarrett Liebert for the win. Tom Grady will still advance from that second position, and Trenton Briley will finish third, going on automatically to the feature. Tyson Miller, Bodie Cryer, Daniel Aish, John Binder, and Paul Mikolajic will be heading to the last chance qualifier for finishing outside of those top three. Looks like our second heat is now ready. Connor Berry's on the pole of this one, with Felix Roy starting in second, Zachary Drafkin P3, and Keaton Swain in fourth. After that, it's Don MacArthur in fifth, Scott Kerr sixth, and Taylor Vandenbush P7. Cameron Magashik rounds out your 8 cars in this one. I think we might be running 3 heats in today's race, if I'm seeing correctly. I'll get that information updated, but it looks like we are good to go as the green flag is out once again. Who's going to get the whole shot? Somebody just does not go in the background. Not sure who that was, but as they fly down towards the whole shot, it looks like Barry's got it.
Yeah, Barry had that inside line. He's making it happen. I mean, sometimes you see the middle line be preferred, Sometimes you get squeezed down to that wall. Everybody's staying wide on that one. And Perry just shot right out.
It was Don MacArthur who had the bad start, but Cameron Magashik gets shoved into the wall past the barn. I'm not sure if the car is okay. I think he's gotten it going down through gravel pit, and Connor Berry still has Felix Roy climbing over his rear.
And Drapkin making a good run up the inside. Let's see if he can get this pass going on there. Just slides, puts his tail right there. And it looks like this Keaton Swain, though, is going to follow. And it looks like we're going to get possible 2. No, Swain gets pushed out a little bit wide.
But he cuts back underneath. He runs out of track, just about glances the tires, and has to get a little rough there with Felix, and Felix finally gives way. This is bad news for him. After starting from second place, he is now outside of the transfer positions.
And I do believe Swain did clip that tire, so it's amazing that he kept control of that vehicle. But just like that, Roy trying to answer right back, but Swain has that middle preferred line. Looks like there's a lot of traction. He's set up. He's filled that inside line now.
Can't believe it went so poorly so quickly for Felix Roy, and he still hasn't been able to get right past Swain once again. Ahead of them, Trapkin's trying to take advantage of their battling to put some distance on them, but not as good as Connor Berry, you can see up ahead, who has just gapped them almost by a second already.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about Connor up front. He kind of disappeared quickly, but Drapkin now looks like he's trying to put the hammer down and catch up to him, but Swain's still hitting back there. He's still in a qualifying position. But Roy, you know, he's going to be looking for a little redemption right now.
Well, more than that, I think he's going to be looking to try and get through to the feature automatically so that he doesn't have to threaten his weekend here with going to the LCQ and winding up out of the race there. Oh, did Connor just hit the inside wall?
I think he did clip it a little bit.
Certainly looked like the front went up from what we could see on this onboard. He got awful close to it, and it cost him a little bit of time, as it's now single file pretty much throughout the field from front to back. But Felix Roy is going to change that. Goes the inside of Keaton Swain, unable to make it work.
Yeah, Felix is trying to, feel the track out right now, but you don't have a lot of laps to do that. He's looking for inside and outside. He should have figured that fast line out already. Lap 3, you're halfway through this one. This is going to be 2 to go after this.
Exactly, and he still is not able to get fully alongside Keaton at this stage. That's Keaton that you see that we're on board with right now in the blue machine, just behind Zach Drapkin. Has done a good job recovering, has become a bit of a threat now to the second place truck.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Swain is now starting to look to the inside of Drapkin. We'll see when they come around here through the skybox turn and the gravel pit and see for the setup here.
Seen a lot of attempts into this corner, but none this time seem to stick. Yeah, nobody really close enough. Oh, behind him though, looks like Vandenbush and Scott Kerr swapping positions. And then you have to go right down into turning in as soon as you land, coming off the jump into Calamity Corner. And it looks like Scott Kerr is not going to be able to keep Vandenbush behind. Oh, no, Drapkin still got second. I thought Swain had taken it away for a second.
Yeah, it looks like it was almost a pass going on, but Drapkin will hold on to it. And a little carnage going on in the back.
Oh, he's managed to sneak in front.
No, he got it down.
He just about feeds in front. He can't quite slide completely in front of him. He might be able to do it here. No, going way out wide. Drapkin tries to hold on. No deal. Keaton Swain has managed second place.
Yeah, just as we were talking about it, he was able to answer right back. He did it on that second turn coming across that finish line.
White flag, 1 to go now. Connor Berry has checked out. Keaton Swain is into second. Drapkin now is under threat because Felix Roy, it doesn't care which car he passes for third as long as he passes third.
Now, ironically, these two drivers have raced against each other in the pro buggy classes, and I know they know how each other drive. And now with the iRacing, I think they know each other's tricks. It's really starting to show.
Certainly seems to be the case. He tries to take it wide and exit off the corner with a better diamond. He's got a good launch, but immediately covering in the inside. Drapkin is not letting him sneak down there, as the win is going to go to Connor Berry. Keaton manages to get into second. Drapkin gets to third, and poor Felix Roy, after starting the very front is going to have to go to the last chance qualifier. He's going to be joined by Scott Kerr, Taylor Vandenbush, Don MacArthur, Cameron Magashik, and Cameron's actually going to be the last one. We are off into the third heat now, though. And Keith Jeffrey starts on the pole for this one. Jacob Raffis will be in second. Ryan Miller, P3, is followed by Timothy Messimer in fourth. Bryce Simoneau in the fifth position sees Sean Winkler to his outside. Cody Woniecki in seventh. And Nathan Metoxen starts in eighth position. Well, drivers once again lining up pretty quickly out here. We just about have all 7 ready to go. We're waiting on Sean Winkler. There we go. That means the lights will now come up as the engines start to rev. And they're holding them for a bit here. There it is. Green flag is out. And this time, as you were saying earlier, it does look like the middle has a pretty good start, but second phase of it, suddenly Keith Jeffrey is a rocket ship, and he's ahead of everybody.
Yeah, he just held to the inside. He held, everybody was fighting for that middle section, left that wide open inside.
He's going to get past the barn first and down into the second full corner as Jacob Raffis tries to hold him accountable. Could still try and make a charge to the lead here into gravel pit. And he is going to try and go down to the inside. Can't quite swing it into him with a slide job. They're going to be neck and neck as they exit the corner.
Yeah, this is going to be critical setup here. He could make that pass. He's going to go a little wide, try and dive down. But the problem is, he left it up for I was going to say a whole bunch of other drivers to the inside, and that's sometimes what happens.
Sean Winkler goes for an absolute ride and winds up on his lid. Simoneau, unfortunately, also gets caught up in it, but at least he can carry on. Right now it's Winkler, not Winkler leading. It's Raffis with Keith Jeffrey swapping the lead here, and Messimer in the transfer position down to the inside. Keith Jeffrey fighting back.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go to the inside, hold him. He's going to try and push him wide here. You don't let him get to the inside. That's the problem you do. He's going to leave that inside line open, and he did. Should have filled that hole a little bit quicker.
Yeah, 13 just got the nose in enough. And with that shorter line, yep, he's still going to stay in the lead now. Boy, what a frantic start for our drivers on this one. Jeffrey has now lost the lead. Raffis has got to work hard probably to keep him behind. And then in third, Messimer, because of all the chaos behind him, kind of is running on his own.
Yeah, Messimer was really right up there. He's starting to turn that pressure up a little bit. And then with all that little chaos there, I think it slowed him down a little bit. He's trying to get back in the groove, recollect himself. Jeffrey is, I tell you what, Raffis and Jeffrey right now, this is going to be an incredible race all the way. I know we're only 2 laps into this, but like you said, 44 seconds, 43 seconds per lap, pretty quick.
It will indeed. Jeffrey still trails him coming down through the first corner, leaning into that banking as they then head past the barn and up towards this sweeping second turn, probably the fastest turn on the track with a wall right to the outside. You can see them take it all the way up to there, checking back in with the 101 in the meantime, just briefly, and now down back into gravel pit here. Jeffrey still right on top of that number 13.
Raffis had a perfect line going through there. That's why Jeffrey couldn't get any ground on him whatsoever. You can see he's trying to look up that inside, but Raffis just tucking down, holding up to that K-rail.
For some reason, Woniecki's had to head into pit lane. Not sure what's caused that, but that's going to put him out of the running for sure. We're now down to only 5 trucks left on track. Attrition is not something I expected to be talking about in a heat race.
Yeah, usually it gets a little bit more the LCQs and then into the main events at the last couple of laps. It's kind of changing up the formula a little bit.
So that means only 2 trucks are going to be eliminated from the track itself here. That increases the chances of managing to get through. Going to be 2 to go at the line, though, as we head on board with Ryan Miller. He's on the bubble on the outside looking in.
Yeah, Miller really trying to do everything he can to get up to Messimer right now. Messimer, though, great line. You can see he's got that setup going across. I tell you, he's so close to that wall.
Got to use every inch of the track. And these guys have definitely been using up the trucks. You can see the fender missing on that number 51. But not so with Rafis, despite getting a little bit tangled briefly with Jeffrey. That truck looks spick and span to me. He sends it down into gravel pit once again, and they are going to get the white flag here after one more corner.
Yeah, I mean, Rafis has set that turn up every time just perfect. You can see the lines. He's putting it where the truck, he's running his race. He's not thinking about, behind him. Sometimes you let, the guy behind you get in your head, and he'll try to change your line to more block. Drive your race if you're out front.
That's exactly what he's been doing. This is really a good sign for any fans of that number 13 as they come around one last time and has definitely dropped Jeffrey. He was sticking with him for some time for a couple of those laps, but now it looks like that it is in control of that number 13 truck. Down into gravel pit, no Hail Marys even available to the number 88 at this stage. So for Jacob Rafis, after starting from second position, didn't need that top spot at the beginning. He made his own way and is going to win the third heat of the night, followed by Keith Jeffrey in second and Timothy Messimer rounding out your advancing cars. Ryan Miller, Bryce Semino, Cody Wieniecki, and Sean Winkler are going to be sent to the last chance qualifier. So it looks like, we will have a fourth heat, so apologies about that misinformation earlier. Crystal King has put herself on the pole of this one. Nicholas Dachelet will start in second and Christopher Plumley in third. Cody Retzlaff, P4 for him. Colin Murphy, P5. And Dennis Mickelson in the sixth position. James Burke will start in seventh. And they're all already out on the grid. All righty then. Let's get racing here for our last heat of the evening and see who makes it automatically into the feature. Green flag is out. Pretty good shot from the far outside there for Mickelson. In fact, he might be able to threaten for those top three spots once they come out of this first turn, depending what he can do out here. They fly through it, and Crystal's trying to hold on, but look to the outside, to the inside here as it switches back. That's Nicholas Dachelet, who is now up into the lead. Oh, and Crystal gets sent over.
Oh, nice. Violent. I gotta say, I wasn't saying it was a nice move, but unfortunately, Crystal got caught up in that little sandwich there, and that's gonna be a rough one there.
Amazingly, she landed on the black stuff and is back rolling, but I can't imagine the truck is in good condition after that one. Oh man, still a fierce battle here for that third spot. Christopher Plumley fighting hard as he gives the elbows to, I think that was, trying to make out who that was. That was Dennis Mickelson, actually.
And this is what I usually expect out of the short course here. I mean, it usually gets close. You get the elbows out. You're going to be kicking. You're going to be fighting. You're beating. You're banging. That's what goes on.
Right now, it is Dachelet, Retzlaff, Plumley that are going to make it through into the feature race automatically. And Murphy is on the outside looking in. Up at the front of it, Dachelet, after taking the lead way, coming past the barn, has not looked back since. He is stretching that gap as we watch the battle for second now.
Yeah, Plumley's right up on Cody Retzlaff now. He said, hey, man, if I can get up on you, I want to get another position. Get me just that much closer up to the front.
Got to worry, though, because Colin Murphy's not that far behind. If those two start battling back and forth, that 09 could be a serious problem for them as they once again head into turn two now. And haven't seen dicing back and forth at this stage quite yet. We're going to watch from Colin in that 09.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. When Retzlaff and Plumley start to battle, sometimes you forget about everybody else and you're just concentrating on you two, and that can slow you down a little bit. Murphy could be in a good position if these two start going at it.
And they can't forget that it is the top three that automatically advance. So right now, Plumley's in a good spot, but he has a try at Retzlaff and gets denied down through Calamity Corner. So that one didn't work. Does he have any moves elsewhere?
Well, it looks like he's got a good run going up the inside now. It looks like he's going to try and jump up the inside here. Can't quite make it stick.
He's going to stick with it, though. He's going to try and make sure that Plumley, or that Retzlaff, rather, can't make any errors here as they all once again dive down into gravel pit. Oh,
Was that smoke? Oh no, must have been dust off the tires. I thought for a minute Retzlaff had some smoke from his motor.
Oof, yeah, we do not want to see a blown motor here in the last heat, and especially if you're in that advancing position. That's going to be a horrible way to go. At least he gets a free motor before the LCQ, so there's no worries about having to replace that. Riding with Mickelson now. Despite his great start, he got shuffled back anyways, and he's down to 5th.
Yeah, you can see it's pretty physical in the back. You can see a couple of the cars, fenders, beat up, missing.
Again, all easily replaced, thankfully.
Yep.
So it's a little bit nicer in the virtual world about losing all that stuff for these guys. Colin Murphy, who's been stuck in this 4th spot, still looking, poking and prodding to see if Christopher Plumley will open any doors for him. But now he's going to get a rude shove from Dennis Mickelson.
I was going to say, Mickelson came right out of nowhere. Look at this, up the inside. Looking for a little slide job, see if he can get it up there. No. Looks like Mickelson's going to hold on to his nose up front.
He's not
He's
done
going to try
with it
right
yet.
again. Nope.
He's going to take it down into turn 2, and he slide jobs him right past into P4 rather. I like the cut of Mickelson's jib here because he was aggressive off the start. He's aggressive in the race. He is a never say die driver, and he's going to get some hello from Murphy in the process.
Well, he'll be the first one of the LCQ. This is what he's looking to fight for right now.
White flag is out. Dashalet is gone as this battle for that pole on the LCQ is definitely hotly contested. Oh no, it's going to turn Murphy over.
Wow.
On the last lap of the race, Murphy's probably going to be miffed about that one. So Dashalet, who's basically been in control here, is going to just round these last few corners and looking very cool and collected in his onboard cam as well. Just one last one off to the right-hand side, down through Calamity Corner, a gap of 2.7 seconds. It's going to be the biggest gap we've seen in any of the heat races tonight as he takes the win. Behind him, a challenge for second, but Retzlaff will hold off Plumley, the last 2 to make it through into the feature without having to touch the LCQs. James Burke, Dennis Mickelson, Colin Murphy, and Crystal King will round things out. Crystal jumps up into 6 after Murphy's incident there. And that's going to take us to a quick break. We'll come back with the LCQs and then the feature here.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. Welcome back to Crandon International Raceway. We're getting ready for the
first of our last chance qualifiers with Tyson Miller starting on the pole for this one. Ryan Miller will be in P2 as Bodie Cryer will start from third. Bryce Semino is P4. Daniel Ash in the 5th position. Then it's Cody Winiecki 6th, John Binder 7th, Sean Winkler 8th, and Paul Mikolajic starting from the last spot. It is, again, only the top 3 that go to the feature, and it's an even bigger field than what we saw in the heat. So the pressure is on, and you described it earlier there, Dave, that everybody's going to be very fierce down into these first few corners to try and find track position. And I believe we should be getting going here in just a moment, as the time should be up, but I'm not seeing it. Not sure. Oh, here we go. Okay, now we are ready to go as the engines start to rev. And the green flag is out. Who's going to get the whole shot down into Potawatomi corner? Looks like it's a very good one for second place there, as suddenly down to the inside, the 51 just takes it away. And that's going to be Ryan Miller to the top spot, but coming around the outside, it looks like Mikolajic, despite starting last, has got a fantastic run through the first corner, beating and banging all of them, trying to find space. There is no truck that hasn't made contact.
Oh, I can't believe they stayed down on the rubber side down that one. They were beating and banging at each other all the way through that turn. Now, set through the gravel pit, and I'm going to see a little bit more contact, though. But these guys, they're drawn door to door. That's what you want to do. You don't want to change their attitude of their vehicle. That's what the marshals are looking for.
It looked like the rush to the salad bar down to that second corner. My goodness, and Miller still is fighting hard as Ryan Miller's fighting hard. Tyson Miller's behind him as somebody gets sent sideways in the background. It looks like Winiecki catches it eventually. But, ooh, look at this. Big move from Tyson trying to overtake Ryan.
Well, the Miller boys, we're going to call them right now. These guys are definitely going back there toe-to-toe. I think the inside line could have it here.
Yeah, that's Tyson in the red, and that's Ryan in the pink and blue around the outside. Still door to door as they come off the turn. Yeah, Ryan Miller manages to get it, but Tyson was loose.
As they look up the inside again, he's going to keep it just enough where he doesn't have any daylight there. He's going to take that line right away from him.
Mikolajic had trouble from the very start of his heat, but has not let it hold him back. He is up in this third spot, waiting patiently, watching the two of them. Even shorter races for these LCQs, as there's only 4 laps to try and decide our top 3. And these top 3 have started to stretch out.
Yeah, I think Mikolajic just said, you know what, screw it. It's the LCQ, I'm going for it. Man, Millers, I mean, they're drifting, mirroring each other in this one. It's incredible.
It's been one of our best fights for the lead that we have seen. Ryan still leads ahead of Tyson, coming around side by side down through Calamity Corner. Tiny little nudge from Tyson, but Ryan holds on to it. Now they switch back into turn 1, giving him just enough space down to the bottom.
Yeah, it looks like Tyson was trying to get that inside line. He just tucked him behind him. You know, I hate to say this, he's in a qualifying position at this point because Mikolajic's right back there. And Winkler got a good little gap. These 3 are running their own race.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. I think high percentage moves only, which this might be it. He gets to the inside, and they're going to drag race off the corner down at Calamity Turn.
And Tyson will have the inside line once again.
So I haven't seen that outside quite work in Calamity Corner. Oh, but he just about got a good run. Unfortunately, he hit the back of the 51. I think if that didn't happen, he could have had him in a turn 1 there.
Yeah, you know, I've seen it work once or twice in real life. Believe it or not, getting around there, if you can establish there and just get even with that guy, get your nose up in through turn number 1, that's going to be the key. That's the only way it's going to happen.
Final lap. White flag has already been waved. Last time he really got a good run through gravel pit. So 3 wide for the lead, and they all come together. Thankfully, it does not turn them around. I was going to say, don't throw it away now, guys. You're all through if you just make it through these last few corners. Still, the desperation shows from Tyson isn't going to do it. Ryan Miller is going to take the win. Tyson Miller is going to finish second. Mika Logic is going to be third. Sean Winkler, Bryce Semino, John Binder, Bodie Cryer, Daniel Aish, and Cody Wieniecki are done for the night after that one, sadly. We head on to the last chance of the last chance qualifiers to make it through, with Felix Roy starting on the pole of this one. James Burke will be second and Scott Kerr will be third. Dennis Mickelson starts from P4 and Taylor Vandenbush is fifth. After that, it's Crystal King in P6, Don MacArthur in seventh, and Colin Murphy eighth. Cameron Magashik ninth, and Nathan Metoxen rounds out your 10 drivers vying for 3 positions here. And after what happened to Crystal King, I wonder what her view is going to look like coming down into the first few corners.
Well, Crandon's always a crapshoot. It's all, sometimes you got to have a little luck on your side, but that inside line has been really quick. We've seen 1 and 2 so far, been taking it. You do have to go the longer way around on the outside. This is a good line to the inside, but you have to have that good response off the line with that green flag. And look at this, they're already beating and banging each other to the center.
Oh, and it was Crystal, unfortunately, that came out the worst for it, unless maybe she backed out just to preserve the truck. Meanwhile, Roy, from the pole position, will take the lead.
Yeah, Roy had a good spot. I tell you what, it's been so far, they've been right on the reaction time, and that's what it all comes down to.
Burke to the
reaction time.
Yeah, I did a fantastic job on that. Burke to the inside of Kerr, and he's going to try and take that second place away. A lot of beating and banging at the very back as Don MacArthur gets way too sideways, unfortunately. Still wheel to wheel between Kerr and Burke gets really fed out now.
Yeah, Kerr was smart to get out there and just kind of fill that hole with the truck. He kind of took the line right away from him. He knew, but he could have left that inside. You can see this is so close right now. If you do that again, someone's going to take advantage of it.
Oh,
and
man.
You see Crystal right now. She is on a mission.
She is, but so is Colin Murphy. Both of them were caught up. Murphy gets absolutely shoved into the outside wall. Crystal and Colin found themselves sent out of the running earlier and late. In the case of Colin Murphy, she absolutely shoves her way past James Burke. She's now in a transfer position, as in the background Mickelson just rolled it.
Yeah, the elbows are coming out for sure right now. Crystal King, though, after that she got done dirty, we talked a little bit, not anyone's particular fault, but she was in the wrong place at the right time, wrong time. Now she's looking for redemption. She's just going to look for any opportunity she can right now to qualify.
The red mist is definitely down. Burke is in fourth, as Murphy unfortunately got oh my goodness, Felix Roy hit the outside wall hard. I don't know what exactly happened there, but it's almost like he just understeered into it.
Yeah, just kind of a little rub and took a little paint with him. Putting his signature on the wall. We're going to get another good look at it right here. You can see when he comes off, he's carrying a lot of speed and just kind of slides out. Yeah, little fiberglass drag.
Thankfully did not seem to affect him too badly, as they come across now halfway through the race. Kerr versus King now. She's not settling just for third. She wants to make this safe and is trying to overtake on that black and red machine.
Yeah, one thing about Roy, we're watching him out front right now. I mean, he had some problems. Crystal King had some problems. But you can see with these drivers, they get out and get on their own. They're going to have some good racing. Got some talent.
They certainly do. Coming down to the gravel pit, they are pulling away from Colin Murphy, who's gotten by Burke. So will Murphy be able to catch up to King here with only one lap to go and make the pass on top of things? Oh, big hit to the inside. He could do it there as he goes down into the side of Crystal King. And now Colin Murphy is into P3, but only just.
Yeah, it looks like Kirsten's going to try and go right back and put her nose right up that inside. That makes her rear end kind of fill up that line. Oh, look at this. Murphy's going back with more contact. Murphy up the inside. Good move.
This is less using the fenders, more using boxing gloves tonight, as Colin Murphy and Crystal King pushing and shoving to try and claim the last transfer position up at the top. It is still Felix Roy versus Scott Kerr, but Felix is way ahead. And now Crystal King gives right back. She is given the medicine all the way to Colin Murphy and is back into P3. Felix Roy is going to take the win. Scott Kerr is going to be second and sending Colin Murphy on his lid. Crystal King is not going to be denied. She will take third place.
Yeah, it looks like Burt got him right up a little bit quick on the outside, and that caused him to go right up and over. Wow.
Burke is going to finish just outside of it. Magashik 5th, Vandenbush 6th, Don MacArthur 7th, Dennis Mickelson 8th, and Murphy will wind up last. That is going to wind up being talked about quite a bit, I think, before we get back, because the iRacing Short Course Series presented by General Tire will be back in just a moment for the feature. Stick around.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Welcome back to Crandon International Raceway. And Dave, we had the two most incredible LCQs to decide this grid.
I know. I am so blown away. I mean, between the two Millers, battling it out there, and this last LCQ, Crystal King, Murphy going at it, elbows, Burt coming up, getting involved. Holy moly, dogs and cats living together, pandemonium. It's just crazy.
Well, we'll see if that continues, as we are already gridding up here, and Jacob Raffis is going to be starting on the pole position. Connor Berry starts from P2, and Jarrett Liebert will be third. Those top three have been inverted. Nicholas Dashelet will start fourth. It's Tom Grady P5, Keaton Swain in 6th, and Keith Jeffrey in 7th. Then it's Cody Retzlaff in 8th position, Trenton Briley P9, and Zach Drapkin in 10th, and they're already going out on the track. Green flag is out. 2 rows fly down towards Potawatomi Corner. Who is going to get the whole shot down into the first turn? It looks like, I think, maybe Raffis, and he does get clear. Is everybody going to get to turn 2, though? It looks like we've done it.
Yeah, it looks like Connor Berry's going to tuck in right behind him there. It looks like Liebert also getting there. Oh, look at this. Dashelet trying to get up in the fight now.
I spoke too soon. Scott Kerr was sent in a barrel roll, and he fell off the course down into gravel pit. Oh, we got to move for the lead once again. Connor Berry tries to make the run, but Raffis denies him for now.
Yeah, Raffis gave a little tap on the outside. Look at this. Oh, contact. Berry and another car became one.
That was
like
that was Liebert. He landed on top of somebody else coming off the jump, and that sent him through them. But it worked out for him because he's in the lead now. Raffis, excuse me, is in 2nd, and Berry's in 3rd.
I'm not sure what just happened, but Liebert, he's got a chance to run away with this one. Raffis, and we saw Berry not being as quick as he normally has. He's already got a little gap back there. Let's see if he's going to collect himself. Calm down, breathe a little bit. I'm sure he's still going, what happened there?
Raffis uses the slide job to get past him. I understand it says Kerr as our leader on the timing and scoring. That is incorrect. He had to come in and take his spare car. There we go. Now it corrects itself. And you can see that Raffis is the top spot, Liebert in second, Connor Berry right there. They can't give him a whiff of things.
Yeah, that's for sure. Also, you got Swain, who's sitting second in the points. He's battling with Dashley back there for that fourth position. So we got to keep an eye on these for the points here. Swain, though, moved up to fourth. His idea right now, get in front of Berry and get some drivers between them. He's thinking about points.
Let's remember that we've got the competition caution coming at the end of lap 8 here, and as they fly out of gravel pit, it's still Raffis ahead of Liebert, but they're fighting hard and showing openings, unfortunately, to Connor Berry at a few of those turns. But Connor's got his own problems as behind him, Keaton Swain is getting aggressive.
Yeah, Swain knows. He's like, hey, I got the points leader in front of me, and, you know, I can see these two boys that are battling out front. You know, forcing them to mistake. Forcing them to mistake is probably something to say.
Yeah, that's a good point right now for Keaton Swain. The only thing that matters is finishing ahead of Connor Berry and to try to cut down on that points lead. So for sure, we'll see him try and make a few moves if he sees anything. Big slide job for Connor Berry, but he can't make it stick. Liebert around the outside, that opens the door up for Keaton Swain as we go 3 wide coming down into Calamity Corner.
Both Connor. Oh! And I was going to say, those two are trying to go to the same spot at the same time, and it caused Berry some problems. Swain able to get in the move there in front of him, but look at this, Dashley now hunting.
I don't know how Keaton Swain managed to take that corner, let alone wind up in 3rd place. He was headed on a trajectory into the K-rail.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused on how he got into that position also, because it didn't look like he was going that direction whatsoever.
Saw another truck get rolled over, but I didn't quite see who it was, unfortunately. There's been so much action out there. I think it may have been Keith Jeffrey I'm hearing. So he has been sent all the way down into 16th position. Incredibly, we do still have all 18 trucks out there, but I don't know how, as they come around to complete lap 4. And it is now Raffis, Liebert, Swain, your top 3.
You know, really, when we've watched these guys qualify into this main event, looking at the times when I'm working right now, they're pretty much right on each other. This is going to be a battle all the way to the end. 18 laps, it's a long distance. And you mentioned early on the competition caution. When that comes with re-rack, restack, it's a whole nother race.
So let's see as they come down into gravel pit. Not as many big moves this time. Maybe they're finally settling in. Dashley, let's not forget about him. He's managed to get up to 5th here as we see them head down into Calamity Corner once again. Up at the front of them, Raffis has been making good of the clear air. It's started to stretch away from Liebert. We're going to ride with Nick.
Great shot as you see everything unfolding in front of him. Love to see how the suspension just works through these turns. You see it just gets back in, keeping that contact, keeping the footprint on the dirt.
You can see, even though he's putting so much angle into it through that long sweeper of turn 2, it still wasn't lifting much off the ground down to the inside for Connor Berry. But unfortunately for him, that's not going to get that 3rd place away from Keaton Swain quite yet. It looks like, as we heard from the drivers last week, the competition level has just gone up. We have not seen many drivers be able to threaten Connor this much, especially not last season.
No, I mean, everybody has stepped their game up for sure. And you're seeing Raffis really up there, Liebert. I mean, Swain, not a surprise to me personally, to see these other drivers. Look at Dashley, Cody Retzlaff back there. Riley, I know there's a little gap there, about 2 seconds, but still, these guys are, you know, still early on. We're set up all right. We've set the pace. We got the comp caution going in there. Don't lose the position, and really put your head down in the second half of the race.
Swain's been driving pretty brilliantly here to hold Connor back up to this point. And it's not for Connor's lack of trying either, considering he's pulled a couple slide jobs and then gives him an elbow there coming through Calamity Corner as well. They switch back into 1. He does get the nose underneath, but that actually costs Connor Berry instead, as he has to gather the truck back up.
Yeah, what blew me away is how Swain, off the gravel pit, came from the outside, shot up to the inside, and still made the pass stick. Where you want to be usually is on the outside, so as you go into Calamity, corner, you're protecting the line.
There's another slide job attempt from Connor Berry, but he just about had it that time. It's getting closer and closer. He's learning with every attempt.
And you can see Swain trying to move it open. Dashley gets spun out into the K-rail there. And look at this, Cody Retzlaff now in the fight with Berry. Berry gets pushed wide.
And they're now apparently they have the competition caution. I did hear some call over the radio. I wonder if they thought that was going to be the call for the competition caution, and those two, it almost looked like they checked up, and that's why they all ran into each other.
It's kind of shocking to see that happen right at the comp caution. They fought all the way to the flag.
So for Dashlett, that puts him back in 12th, unfortunately. Amazingly, despite Scott Kerr getting sent out off the course completely, he's still on the lead lap, so we have no waiver rounds here. I believe this is going to be a short pace lap, and then they're going to be sent on their way immediately.
Yeah, that's actually, so far, has been the quickest I've seen us get a race started here, and everybody being on the lead lap. Looks like somebody's pulling off into the pits, though.
Yeah, trying to make out who that is here. I'll get the information shortly once they go past the cones. Yeah, you're right. Ooh, Felix Roy, man.
Yeah.
So a bit unusual for him to have those issues there. So your order at the front is Rafis, Liebert, Swain, Cody Retzlaff, and Connor Berry, your top five. Connor also losing positions with that strange incident that we witnessed there. So hopefully we'll get to talk to some drivers and understand what exactly happened that caught them all out, as I think they're going to restart here at the Red Bull sign past the barn, and it is up to Rafis to decide when they go in this section here. Waiting for it from the 13. Oh, that was a little bit of a jump attempt from Cody Retzlaff. That checks him up. Connor Berry says, thank you very much. While you're messing around there, I'm going to try and overtake that fourth position that doesn't look to quite work, at least down through turn 2.
And Connor's going to try and establish himself to the inside, but Parker, if he stays there and makes him a little tight, shave off some speed. And Parker got unfortunately tied up there. And it looks like, is that Miller moving up the inside?
He's looking for it. They were 4 wide down through gravel pit for a brief moment, and it is still hot and heavy back here in the mid-pack. Miller beating and banging on the side of Cody Retzlaff, trying to take away 6th position.
They're almost identical paint schemes there, so kind of, I was like, wait a minute, is that Miller popping up the inside? Incredible on Retzlaff. And you can see Dashley trying to find his way back up there. You can see him, and I believe that was Drapkin there.
Absolutely, and yeah, those similarly painted pink and blue cars with all the body damage looking a little bit more like finished Capri Sun packets today, unfortunately. Christopher Plumley back here in the mid-pack, also in the thick of things, fighting with Drapkin.
They tell him not to tear the top off, just to stick the straw on.
Exactly. Down almost 3 wide coming through Calamity Corner once again. Things actually calmed down up at the front for once, so now we can watch this back of the pack battling, and look at Ryan Miller having to fend off Cody Retzlaff and Tyson Miller as well. So the Millers at it once again.
Yeah, pretty much from what we saw in the LCQ early on there. But Rafis, kind of impressed him, He's setting the pace for himself. We're watching everybody else behind him battle out there. Liebert, Berry, back up into 3rd, but still fighting.
Just about every line you can think of being taken down through gravel pit here in this race. Back with Crystal King, haven't really gotten to focus on what's been going on with her after her amazing stuff down in the LCQ. Oh, around the outside. Speaking of amazing stuff, that's going to put her in 13th.
Now you can see a couple drivers making their move up there. Trenton Briley, I saw that number 17 moving up also. A lot of switching going on in the back of the pack.
Yeah, you're not missing anything at the front. This is where all the action is currently here. Drapkin now side by side with Dashlett, and Trent Briley just in front of them. All 3 of them sending in a different lines into gravel pit once again, almost making an attempt on Tyson Miller. Good exit there from Dashlett. Oh, but he can't do anything with it. Now to his inside saying, excuse me, it's Drapkin.
And Dashlett getting right by him to the inside there. And it looks like Dashley's going to try and get back up the inside and hit, not let that pass stick.
Ooh, but he goes a little bit deep. The over-under there for Drapkin. Once again, having to push him off to the side. This has been some frantic stuff here at Crandon Short Course. Drapkin slides on past in front of him once again, but another over-under from the 23.
Yeah, watching him paddle there. What's amazing is Cody Retzlaff has gotten shuffled back over to 7th. He was fighting up early on. Now he's in that middle of that brawl.
Yeah, not exactly where he wanted to be, that is for sure. And Plumlee is going to get involved now as well, as Drapkin gets a bit of a hello from the 36, but it all works out in the end. Yeah, Cody's brother, Parker Retzlaff, who we mentioned not here today, actually had a 20th place finish in the Xfinity race at Auto Club, so a big congrats to them.
I do believe he goes to Las Vegas this weekend.
I think you are correct, so probably why we're not seeing him right now on his way, staying out west, I assume. We watch back from Connor Berry, still in P2, as Jarrett Liebert is actually the one that's kind of putting the pressure on the current reigning champion, and Rafis has been just skipping away from the pair of them.
And, it looks like Barry's got into his groove. He's been chipping away, moving up there. But the amazing thing is seeing damage on his car. It's been physical. It's been a fight to get up there.
It's been physical for everybody. Top to bottom. Yeah, nobody's going to get away with a clean truck after this one, except maybe Rafis, who seems to have distanced himself. Check his bags for the towels, because he's definitely checked out. And there you can see the distance. It's 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, and I really like to see it's just really focused right now. He's in that car. He's moving. You can see he's just his head, where he's moving his body. Very smooth.
Down to 2 laps to go now that he's crossed the line. He's very intense as well. He's one of the few drivers here in this series that doesn't hail from North America. In fact, I think he might be, no, he's not the only one. Daniel Aish, also hailing from Club Australia, New Zealand. But everybody else from over on the Western Hemisphere, as they come down into gravel pit once again. Yeah, Barry might have things under control, but it's too little too late. I don't think he's going to make up 1.5 seconds in one lap.
No, I think Rafis is in his groove right now, and he ain't going to take away from that whatsoever. I think right now, as Barry's still got to worry about Liebert. He's hunting him.
I'll have to check my stats. I think this might be Rafis's first feature win of the season, potentially.
Yes, I do believe you're correct on that.
So this has been probably what he's been looking for some time, and it was full of excitement. But up at the front, he eventually calmed it down and wrangled it in as he exits out of gravel pit and cuts back with that still 1.5 second over his rivals, and then switches into Calamity Corner. It's going to be his first win for Jacob Rafis in the number 13.
Well, like he's got the American flag on at least.
Great stuff. Miller gets second place, interestingly. No, excuse me, Connor Berry. No, my timing and scoring went wacky on me. Jarrett Liebert will get a top 3, and Keaton Swain just off the podium behind Berry, unfortunately, him just when it counted. So he briefly had his hopes up that maybe he would get some points on him, but it was not to be. As we are going to take another quick break here for the iRacing Short Course Series, sponsored by General Tire. Wait for a moment, because we'll be back with the unofficial results as well as driver interviews.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Welcome back to Crandon International Raceway as we just watched round 5 here of the General Tire National Series. And boy, did we have a stunner. Both the LCQs and the feature gave us some amazing action tonight. But above it all, Jacob Raffus, after a brief battle in the first half, ran away with it in the second half. It was Connor Berry who came home second. Critically for him, he was ahead of his main rivals that he's most concerned about in the points, as Jarrett Liebert was in third. And Keaton Swain, who for a brief moment was actually ahead of Connor Berry, just couldn't hold on. He'll have to settle for fourth. Timothy Messimer was fifth, and Cody Retzlaff was sixth. And it was Ryan Miller in P7, as Tyson Miller actually went from 15th today to 8th. Nice climb. Trenton Briley was 9th, and then Nicholas Dashilet rounds out your top 10. Zach Drapkin, P11 for him, was followed by Chris Plumley in the 12th position. Tom Grady went backwards. He went from 5th to 13th, unfortunately. Keith Jeffrey was 15th, and then Crystal King had to get her elbows out tonight in a couple of conditions and finished 15th. Felix Roy, probably disappointed on this one. He's usually a little bit quicker. He is only 16th. Mikolajic 17th, and Scott Kerr is going to be our last driver on the field tonight, unfortunately. But Jacob Raffus takes his first win of the series with this victory, and it did not come easy, that is for sure. Jacob, that first half of the race, that lead kept swapping around a ton, didn't it?
Yeah, for sure. It was a good race.
Well, it looked like a lot of fun from ours, but I have to imagine, did you appreciate the second half where you could just kind of stretch your legs out and manage to get some comfort zone around you?
Yeah, to be alone on a track like that, it's just the best. Can put down fast lap times. And yeah, and we managed to take the win.
We were talking about you being one of only 2 drivers that aren't from North America racing in this series, and I believe you're currently at +2 GMT. Is that correct? So what is it, about 4 a.m. over there?
Yeah, that's right.
Unbelievable stuff. Well, that dedication is impressive. Now that you've got a win, though, it's a long road, I guess, in the points to get up to Connor Berry, because you came in 5th in points on this one. You seem to have the speed. Is this something where you can manage to catch up to him by the end of the season, or are you just looking for these wins?
Hopefully I can catch up to at least second place, but yeah, it's gonna be hard. I don't think I'm too far away from second. Maybe catch up to corner 2 and make a good season ending.
Yeah, you've got what looks to be 20 points, or at least coming into it, 20 points to make up on Swain, which she definitely gathered up a lot of those tonight. So well done. I think second place definitely doable. Congratulations on that first victory, Jacob.
Big thanks. And I'd like to give a shout out to Nitro Circus, The Magic, Sim Racing OS, and Next Level Racing, and you guys for putting up the event.
Thank you. That was Jacob Raffus in the number 13 taking the win. And behind him, it was Connor Berry. Dave has caught up with him.
Connor, it's becoming a little bit normal now with the second position. I know it's not a place you like to be in, but, I know you're protecting, you knew that Keaton Swain was behind you, and that's in the points, but I know Raffus now starting to creep up there. Maybe now this could be starting a little momentum for him. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, for sure. It was for sure a fun race. It was very, very weird. Me and Rafas were trying to just be smart, and we came out of the start in first and the second spot, and then going into Calamity, it was just weird. I had cars inside of me, and I fell back to like 4th, and then I knew that it was going to be tough. Then I got doored again. I went back to 5th, and then on that start, I knew I had to make some moves quick, and I got up to 3rd, and then I got into 2nd. Then I knew Rafas was just gone, so I had to settle.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We didn't see as much physicality in the heat races. We had some good LCQs, but this is like a bull ring, and I usually expect it to be tighter racing, and I think this main event really showed there was a lot more physical this time.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely tight and it's close. So I mean, it was going to be tough to not bump, which everyone knows that. So I think everyone did their best, but there was for sure some crazy things. But it was definitely a fun track, and it's going to be fun coming back here at round 8.
Well, I know you're still the points leader. You stretched it out just a little bit, and I know there's a lot of people behind you that make that all happen.
For sure, I want to give a big thanks to CBR, General Tire, Nitro Circus team on me and Rofas. We put in a lot of work, and we were definitely the fastest on track. We were the only ones in the 43s, so it for sure showed, and it's definitely going to be good to go back to work and come back stronger for Wild West in 2 weeks.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that, and congratulations, second place, Connor Berry.
Thank you.
That'll take us to third place finisher Jarrett Liebert in that number 10 machine. And Jarrett also was one that basically held every step of the podium at some point during this race. Talk to us a little bit about that battle at the beginning, because that was something to behold.
Yeah, that was more climactic than what I hoped for to begin this race. Got a decent start. I thought we were going to pretty easily go into Calamity Corner P3 and just kind of sit there and do what I needed to do, just run a good race. And Nick got, I think, into Connor going over the big floater jump, and it sent him right into me. And from there, iRacing took control. And I really don't remember much. All I remember is being sideways, and then randomly, I'm halfway through the corner, and I'm in the lead. I don't really know where that came from in a sense, but I didn't do really enough dry testing, so I was a little off to begin. But towards the end, I feel like we're matching Jacob and Connor, and I feel like the start of the race was a big learning curve for me. Being up front and learning more of a dry track, being this is really my first ever time doing this Pro 4 stuff competitively.
Well, I'd say you held your own. I mean, this is a very talented league, so a podium is nothing to be ashamed of, especially considering you finished ahead of both Swain and Plumley today. So you're going to do yourself plenty of favors in the points, finding yourself what might be in the top 3 after this. Where do you go from here?
I'll be honest, when we had Wild West postponed, I was really bummed because I had already tested quite a bit with Vicente, and I felt really confident for that. So I'm really looking forward to building on what we had this week, because I feel like Bark River with Parker, we figured out a little bit setup-wise for qualifying, and that's where we really missed it the first 2 weeks. So I feel like now that we have qualifying, in fact, I qualified 3rd last week and I think 5th this week. I think that's a really big building point, and I'm actually really excited to go after better results and see more of what I can build on, because I feel like I have more room to improve in everything in this. So being able to race around Plumley, Keaton, Connor, Jacob, Keith, all the guys that were really good in WC last year, I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season.
Oh, we are too. I mean, if you say that you guys are feeling stronger, and we heard Rafis say that he's feeling pretty good and he seems to be coming into form, everybody chasing Barry, I can't wait to see how this all wraps up. Congratulations on a podium today, and can't wait to see you out at Wild West.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone at Team Rogue, Parker, Vicente, Dennis, Cody, Nick, all my friends from the NASCAR side that help wearing our tracks. To help us with dry testing. You guys for putting on the broadcast, Cosmin at Splash and Go Graphics for all of my paint schemes, and everyone that just supports me.
That was Jarrett Liebert, your third place finisher this evening, which of course is going to wrap us up. But before we go, I want to go back to you just real quickly, Dave, because I mean, you've covered this a lot longer than I have, and you've seen all the real stuff, give us all kinds of fun action. I mean, where does this rank for you in terms of a good race?
I think it was right there, to be honest with you. I mean, I was actually getting into it. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You know, this is digital, but it's just like so real. You get into the action, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, oh man, it has been such a hoot to cover. And of course, we can't thank everybody enough that has been involved in this one, because you'll have to join us once again when we come back on Thursday, March 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern, as we mentioned, at Wild West Motorsports Park. But also a big thank you to the organizers at General Tire National Series and to our team tonight, Dave, Ryan, Cameron, and Dougie. Also, none of this is possible without those behind the scenes at Podium Esports, Ryan Bauer, Gary Sexton, and John Theodore. Thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast of the General Tire National Series. I'm Joe Peak, and I'll see you on the track.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.